You know, all those AI image generators everyone's been using lately, it's wild what kind of stuff they can make.
Yeah, they're getting really good.
But have you ever wanted to like tweak those images a bit more? Like say you want to move that tree that's in a weird spot or like put a hat on that cat you just made.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, there's this new AI method that can make that happen, and it's called Adit.
It's pretty amazing. There's this research paper called ADDIT, Training-Free Object Insertion in Images with Pretrained Diffusion Models.
Catchy.
Right. And it goes into how you can like add objects into images that already exist just using text prompts.
Whoa, wait, so you just tell it what you want and it does it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is a huge step forward. Even the best AI has had problems with this kind of thing before.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No.
You know, getting an AI to not just draw the object, but actually figure out where it should go so it looks natural.
It's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, generating a cool image from nothing is one thing, but going back and editing it realistically, that's like next level AI stuff, right?
Totally. You're asking it to understand the context, like the relationships between the objects,
Yeah.
even the physics of the image.
Whoa, physics.
It's like how things work in the real world.
Yeah.
So we call that affordance. Like if you ask it to put a book on a table, it has to know the book can't be floating in the air.
Or balancing on the edge.
Exactly. It's got to make sense.
So it can't just slap something new in there. It has to like blend it in, right? So the image still looks consistent.
Yep. No weird shadows or textures out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Or things defying gravity. It's got to look like that object was always there.
That makes sense. But what makes this Adit thing so cool is that it does all that without extra training.
Yeah, it's training free.
Wait, hold up. What does training free even mean when we're talking about AI?
Oh, good question. Usually you need tons of data and like a supercomputer to train an AI to do something complicated like this. But Adit just uses AI models that already exist. They're called diffusion models, and they've already been trained on loads of image data.
Oh, so it's kind of like it's piggybacking off of all that work that's already been done, right?
Exactly. It's clever, right?
So that's got to mean something for people who want to actually use these AI tools.
Yeah, definitely. It could mean they're way more accessible.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know, you wouldn't need to know how to code or have a supercomputer to use them. They could be a lot more user-friendly.
No, that's exciting. So this isn't just some cool research project then. It could have real world uses that anyone could try out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
And it's not just for fun photo edits either. Think about like content creators adding props to photos or game developers making complex scenes easily, or even researchers making data to train other AI. There's so much potential.
Wow. This is blowing my mind. Okay, before we get too carried away with all the possibilities, let's take a step back. How does this Adit thing actually work? What's the magic behind it?
Well, think of it as three main steps. First, there's weighted extended self-attention.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
Yeah. But basically, picture the AI as like an artist blending stuff together really well. This attention thing is how it balances all the info from the original image and the text prompt you give it.
Oh, so it's juggling all those things at once.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And it needs to do that to get the new object in just the right spot. So it looks natural. It has to find that sweet spot. you
Yeah.
know, where everything works together.
Yeah, so the old and the new all fit nicely.
Right. And that brings us to the next step, which is called structure transfer. This is where it gets really cool.
Structure transfer. Okay, now I'm really interested. What's that all about?
Well, imagine you're building a house. You're not going to just put walls and windows anywhere you want, right?
Really not. You'd need a blueprint. Some structure to follow.
Exactly. So that's kind of what structure transfer does for Adit. It makes sure that the new object fits into the scene like it belongs there.
I see. So, like, if you're adding a chair to a room, it has to be on the floor.
Exactly. It can't be floating in the air or anything.
Right. It has to make sense. So basically, the AI is using what it knows about the real world to get it right.
Yeah, like how objects are supposed to go together in space. Okay, so then we have the third part, subject-guided latent blending.
Subject-guided latent blending. Wow, these names are a mouthful.
I know, right?
Break that one down for me.
Okay, well, imagine you're like sewing two pieces of fabric together.
Okay.
You don't want any rough edges or like patterns that don't match. You want it to look smooth, right?
You want it to look like one piece.
Exactly. And that's kind of what subject-guided latent blending does for images. It blends that new object in perfectly.
Yeah.
It keeps all the little details from the original picture.
Ah, I get it. So that's what keeps it from looking all weird and mismatched, right? Like if you added a dog to a photo, you wouldn't want it to look like it was made of plastic or something.
Exactly. It's all about making it look natural.
Wow. So we've got all three of these things working together, balancing the info, placing it right, and blending it in perfectly. Sounds pretty high tech. But the big question is, does it actually work?
It does. The research shows it works really well. In fact, Addit did better than other methods, even the ones made just for adding objects.
Really? So this isn't just some theory, it actually works.
It really does. They even made a new way to measure how well the AI places things, called the Additing Affordance Benchmark.
The Additing Affordance Benchmark sounds intense.
It's basically a test to see if the AI gets how things should go together in a scene. And you know what? Addit got like an 83% on this benchmark. That's way better than any other method.
Wow, 83%. That's like a total rock star score.
Yeah. And if you look at the pictures in the paper, it's even more impressive. You can see how well Addit puts things in the right spot, while others just mess it up completely.
I love visuals, so I definitely want to check those out. Are there any that really stand out?
Yeah. There's one in Figure 5 where they added a dog behind a bird on a branch. The other AIs either forgot the dog completely or put it in a weird spot, like floating in midair.
It's like they forgot about gravity or something.
Exactly. Addit knew that the dog should be on the ground behind the branch. Oh, and there's another good one in Figure 6. They added a basket to a bicycle.
Okay, I'm picturing that.
And again, the other methods just couldn't do it right. They made all sorts of weird distortions or put the basket in strange places. But Addit nailed it. Put the basket right where it should be.
Wow, so this is way more than just randomly throwing things into a picture. It actually understands where things should go.
Yep. It's all about understanding context and blending things in naturally. Of course, no technology is perfect, right? Even Addit has its limitations.
Oh, there's always got to be a catch, huh? So what's the downside? What can it do?
Well, it can still have trouble with super complicated scenes where there are lots of objects and things going on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And sometimes it doesn't quite get it when you ask it to add something that's already there.
So, like, if you ask it to add a dog to a picture with a dog already in it, what happens?
Well, it might try to add like a slightly different dog or put it in a weird spot.
Yeah.
And for now, it seems to work better with images made by AI than real photos.
Huh, interesting. So it still has some learning to do, especially with those real-life pictures that can be kind of messy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still a huge step forward, right, for AI image editing.
Totally. I mean, it's a big glimpse into the future where AI can not just make images, but really understand how to change them in really smart ways.
Yeah, it's like we're not just making pictures anymore. We're actually talking to them, like telling the AI what we want, and it's figuring out how to make it look right.
That's a great way to think about it.
It makes you wonder what else AI will be able to do with images in the future.
Right. It really makes you think about the future of image editing and all the cool things we might be able to do.
Okay, so speaking of the future, where do we go from here? What are the next big things we might see in this field?
Well, it's fun to imagine Addit and stuff like it getting even better.
Yeah.
You know, understanding scenes that are really complicated and how all the objects go together.
So like AI that can add stuff realistically, but also know about lighting and perspective, even make it look good artistically.
Yeah. Like imagine AI that could tell you the best place to put something based on how the whole image looks. Or one that could fix the lighting and shadows so the new object really looks like it belongs there.
That would be amazing. It'd be like having a robot art director helping you out.
Exactly. And as it gets better, we'll probably see it used for way more than just editing pictures.
Like what else could it do?
But think about VR and AR. With Addit or something similar, you could put virtual stuff into the real world seamlessly.
Whoa, really?
It'd be like totally immersive.
So I could be walking down the street and bam, there's a giant virtual dinosaur right in front of me.
Exactly.
Ah.
Or imagine designing furniture virtually and then using AR to see how it'd look in your living room before you even buy it.
That's crazy. The possibilities are endless. Kind of feels like we're living in a sci-fi movie, huh?
Yeah, it really does. But like with any powerful technology, we got to be careful.
Oh, yeah, definitely. What kind of things do we need to be careful about?
Well, the big one is making sure people use it for good. We don't want people making fake videos that look real or using it to trick people.
That's true. It's scary to think people could misuse something this powerful.
Yeah, we got to have rules and guidelines to make sure it's used ethically.
So it's not enough to just know how to use the tech. We also got to know how to spot fakes and figure out what's real, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new way of looking at images.
It's a lot to think about, but it's also pretty exciting to see where all this is going.
Oh, I agree. AI and image stuff is definitely one of the most exciting areas right now.
Well, after this deep dive, I'm definitely even more excited about what the future holds. But before we go, I've got a question for you and for everyone listening. If you could use Addit to add anything to any picture, what would you do?
Oh, that's a good one. So many possibilities. Hmm. I think I'd try to fix an old family photo. There's one where a family member wasn't able to be there. It would be amazing to use Addit to bring everyone together in the picture.
That's a really sweet idea. And it shows how this tech could be used for more than just fun, right? It can actually be meaningful and personal.
Yeah, exactly. It's like giving people the power to change their own pictures and tell their stories in new ways.
Wow, that's really powerful.
It is.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Addit and this crazy world of object insertion. We've talked about how it works, all the cool things it can do, and even the stuff we need to be careful of.
It's been a wild ride.
And honestly, this is probably just the beginning. I can't wait to see what happens next with AI and images.
Me too. It's going to be exciting.
If you want to learn more, check out the show notes for links to that research paper and some of those cool pictures we talked about. And tell us what you would create with Addit. You can hit us up on social media or leave a comment on our website.
We love hearing from you guys.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep on diving into the world of tech.